Good evening, and welcome once again to the Shadow Gallery. I'm your host, as always, James Donnelly. And guess what? It's new comics, bitches! So let's get right to it. Okay, so we're first going to start off with a comic that I missed from last week that I meant to review, but I didn't pick it up until after I did the review. And that was Avengers 12.1. Because there was a lot of heavy shit going down last week. We had a lot of stuff to cover, but this week a little bit lighter, but still some important stuff. Now Avengers 12.1, obviously written by Bendis, and the great Brian Hitch, whose art that I love. Came on board to do the art. I don't know if he's going to start doing art duties on that title or not. I honestly don't know. But it's not enough to get me back into Avengers, because I did have the original series on my pull list, and I had about the first 3 or 4 issues, and then after that I just kind of like, nah. Because part of what bothers me about having a number of different Avengers books. Because you've got Avengers, you've got New Avengers, you've got Secret Avengers, is that the timelines get all twisted and fucked up, and so it's hard to say. Okay, well, does this take place before this issue with these Avengers? Does this take place after, or whatever? So that's always the problem with having a team book, and multiple team books dealing with a lot of the same characters, and then whatever. Anyway, you get the idea. But this book actually successfully combines all of the Avengers teams into one kind of cohesive structure. Although the one thing that I did like about it was that the Bucky Captain America didn't make an appearance, because I think that at least they're kind of keeping with some continuity there. That okay, well the Bucky Cap is in he's in Russia, he's in prison, so he's not really going to be playing a major role in saving the day. Type of day-to-day operations. So anyways, it's a big deal. Basically, they sent Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, who's been, she was a double agent for both S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra for a while, and then she became an agent of SWORD, the Sentient World Observation and Response Department. Because they love their acronyms in the Marvel Universe, because there was obviously you have S.H.I.E.L.D. There was Strike. That was the UK version of S.H.I.E.L.D. essentially, but I don't remember what Strike stands for. But anyway, so you've got Jessica Drew goes looking for an extraterrestrial life sign, whatever. She gets attacked and knocked out by a group of supervillains calling themselves the Intelligentsia, which is basically made up of characters like the Wizard, Mad Thinker, Claw, some other characters that I didn't really recognize. One of them is called the Red Claw, I think. Anyway, so sorry, cats distracted me. Moving on, the comic moves along briskly. Obviously, Bendis has a really good grasp of dialogue. Nobody does widescreen action better than Brian Hitch, like at all, at least not in recent memory. But and then the reveal is that they've actually recovered Ultron. like the main Ultron, because there's like there's like 60 different models of Ultron or something like that. But this is like the main bad, the big bad Ultron that is fond of destroying everything sentient. So he's going to come back into play in the Marvel U. Apparently, he's been gone in space for a while or something like that, or just gone. So I don't know, because I haven't been keeping up on the Ultron character, but he is pretty much like, if there is like a other than the Masters of Evil, he's like the big bad of the Avengers, and always has been, and probably always will be. But apart from that, I mean, it's still, it's a good issue. It's very solid. Obviously, it's very well drawn. There is one exception that I have with the art by Brian Hitch, and that is, for a great deal of this issue, Jessica Drew is nude. She is, she was stripped to nothing when she was captured. Okay, and this is something that Brian Hitch has done a lot. When he was working on the Ultimates, for instance, there were a couple issues where he had the Wasp. When she was shrunk down, and she was nude. There was like one or two butt shots, but very tiny ones. But other than that, I guess one of the things that troubles me about when artists draw nude people for in quote unquote all ages, or like T+ comic books, 13 and up. Everything is silhouetted in shadow, but the women, apparently they have no nipples, because their entire silhouette is in shadow, but you would at least see like a little bit of nipple there. I know I'm getting really nitpicky about nude scenes in comics, but it is something that just starts to bug you after a while. So that's really the issue that I take with that. I mean, it's either do it naked and do it really naked, or don't do it at all. Have them in something that's just sheer. But that doesn't show any lady parts or man parts, whatever kind of parts that you're looking for. Because I mean, you see a lot of both a lot of male and female ass, essentially in most comic books anyway. Because obviously they're wearing these tight suits, and you can see the outline, the entire curvature of their buttocks. But it's just, it has color, it has the color of the costume draped over it, so it doesn't appear nude. But it literally is just somebody drawing a nude, especially with women. Literally is just somebody drawing, coloring over a nude body, because the outfits are skin tight. Anyway, moving on. Next comic that I want to talk about this week is Batman Beyond #5, and this is more good stuff, bringing back characters from the old show. Basically, this is the return of Blight, which is really like the first major villain of the Batman Beyond comic series. Some other unfortunate things happen in this issue, such as Dana breaks up with Terry. Mostly, and this was kind of inevitable because he's never there for her. And they are still teenagers. So, I mean, it's important to have some kind of, a guy who is there, especially one to whom has she's been very devoted to him, but they're just they never seem to have time with each other. But there's a lot of shit going down at Wayne Powers Industries. There's huge labor conflicts. There seems to be a very smarmy dude that seems to maybe be pulling the trigger on that, but I think it all comes down to the character of Blight, or Derek Powers, a very evil man. So we'll see coming in the upcoming issues. So after the jump, we're going to do more comics, so stay tuned.